This is the Biz Call.
Question 1, what's your name?
I'm JoannaReese.
Question 2, what's the name of your business?
I own TangibleStrategies.
Question 3, describe your business in a few sentences.
We are a full-service marketing agency who does things quite differently than the normal agency.
Interesting. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. We have found, both me and my husband founded this business and had found small business owners really struggled to find an agency. Both of our parents were small business owners growing up, and usually small business owners end up just having to hire freelancers or, kind of the DIY, hiring a cousin, because most of the agencies model they tend to have high overhead and just do a lot of things that are marking up their cost unnecessarily and making it inaccessible. So we kind of started Tangible with the idea that small businesses deserve to be able to have really high-quality agency-level marketing to compete with big firms, but at a price that makes sense for a small business.
Cool. Question number 4, what's your revenue model?
We have a mixed model, again, to kind of fit with that idea. No two of our clients pay the same thing or have the same monthly invoice. So we have a handful that are contract-based. So we'll do a website for them or we'll run a campaign for them. And so we basically kind of calculate our hours and bill that way. And then we have the majority of our clients are on a retainer where for a flat every month they have a predictable cost, and some months we really eat into our profits by going over, and other months we are able to get it done quicker. But they have that flat monthly fee, so they don't have to worry about that variable cost. And so we have a mixed subscription and project kind of based.
Okay, question 5. Are you brick and mortar, online, or both?
Both. Yes, we have our office is in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. So we have a great place for our team to be able to meet and be able to collaborate and meet with clients. But we also have clients all around the world, so internationally. We do work with a lot of nonprofits overseas and that kind of thing. So a little bit of both.
All right. Question 6, and you can really get your teeth into this. How did you decide to get into this business?
Ooh, yes. I would say we actually, as a team, were just discussing that the other day of what brought us into the marketing world. For me and my husband, we actually started dating at 15 years old, and we were really weird. We'd go on dates when we were high schoolers, and like our casual dinner conversations were like, man, if this restaurant like ran a promo and put it out at the high school, like everyone would be here. And we just kind of organically both of our minds are very marketing-based and entrepreneur-based. So we always kind of had that passion for helping businesses figure out ways to increase their profitability through promotions and branding. So actually we both, right as we graduated college, started freelancing, friends, family, and then it began to ripple into friends of friends and then strangers calling. And one day we realized this was our passion and we wanted to do it full time. So we quit our jobs and then jumped in. Good
story. Question 7. Why would customers choose you over your competition?
Yes. So especially for small and medium businesses, our firm is very personal. So we're going to sit down and we're strategy-based. We don't have a one-size-fits-all package. We sit down with people and say, hey, where are you at? Where are you trying to go? And a lot of times people haven't really thought through what are the obstacles, why aren't they achieving those? And then I'm just kind of that ruthless, honest person, so I can say, like, hey, it's probably because of this issue that you've been ignoring or not seeing. And so once we identify the issues, the obstacles, we put together a plan that's custom to every single client that often evolves every few months and changes what our goals are and what we're trying to achieve. And everybody on our team knows every single client by name. So it's just a very personalized approach that ensures everything we do is going to generate a return on their investment.
Great. Question 8. if you have one, what's your exit strategy or long-term goal?
Yeah, that's been a discussion a lot over the last few years. My husband is the lead web developer and designer, and I'm the lead strategist and digital marketer. And so then we have all of our employees, but we both do very different things. But my heart's being pulled to a lot of our nonprofits, and I actually am the director of a nonprofit in Central America. So I've been splitting my time a lot lately, and we've been trying to put more of that intentional process in place, training up employees and team members, and hopefully letting them buy into the business so that they can slowly kind of replace some of those portions that are fully reliant on me. But I don't think it's so much an exit strategy. I feel like this is probably something we'll do for a long time. We're still in our early 30s, so we got some time left.
Cool. Good. Question 9. You already touched on it from your earlier days, but what do you do to increase your business?
Yeah, so right now we're doing absolutely nothing. It is just, I think COVID was actually incredibly good for our business. It tripled in size during COVID because so many of those medium businesses who could afford the big agencies all of a sudden started looking at every cost and going, how much is this really generating? And so we had tons of people leaving those big agencies and coming to us saying, hey, we know we need marketing, but we need it to make a little more financial sense. So we've kind of stopped all of our external marketing right now as we've had to, like I said, double and triple our team size. But
it's a good problem to have.
It's a fantastic problem. Yeah, we've been trying to hire as quick as we can, but it's hard to hire because when we find people who used to work for other agencies, they come in and they're really confused because we do things, like I said, very, very differently. To just be very mindful that everything we do is supposed to be centered around our client's success and just making sure that we're not wasting their time with their money. And so that's just, where lots of agencies have one day a week where they just kind of sit around and drink beer and alcohol and eat and waste time and then bill it to their clients. So a lot of people come in and they're kind of like, okay, this is really different. Our team has fun, but we definitely run things quite different. So yeah, I definitely say right now we're not trying to increase necessarily, but we always kind of have that balance between, I would say the majority of our business over the years has come from personal connection, networking, doing a lot of content marketing. So, and that can even be in person. I've done a lot of speeches and education that's just for business groups, that kind of thing. We are in the process of trying to launch our own podcast at some point, but we just can't seem to make enough time to do it. But that would be a great idea down the road. And then we host networking events around the upstate where we're at for small businesses. So that's always been a great way to connect as well.
Question 10. And maybe you want to talk about your clients because we already know how you measure your marketing success, but how do you measure marketing success for your clients?
Oh, yeah. Well, our success is directly connected to our clients, and we do intentionally hire those type of employees that have that same mindset that if what we do doesn't work, we lose sleep at night. We are directly watching. We set very clear goals, and then if we're not achieving those, it bothers us. So there's times, if we're like, hey, we're going to do this social media campaign, we're going to try this, this, and this. And if, 2 months into it, we see it's not tracking like we expected it to, we're the ones who go to the client and we're like, hey, we need to trade. We need to try something different. We're going to switch gears. We're going to do this instead. And a lot of times if something that we thought would work doesn't, we end up kind of doing a break-even campaign where we just cover costs to make sure that the client sees that return. So, yeah, it's very often we don't want to just connect it to account growth on social media or to a functional website. I'm very much a numbers person, so I want to see that how many conversions happen from a campaign and how many new, customers are calling. Where is a website ranking? Are they on page 1? Are they first? So I really like that hard data to be able to evaluate success.
That's great. That's really good. Okay, question 11. I think I know the answer. Got to ask it anyway. Yes or no? Are you profitable?
Absolutely.
Absolutely works too. Question 12. How many employees do you have?
We are our core team. There are 4 of us, and then since our drastic growth, we've brought on 4 contractors since the COVID leap of growth for us. So there's about 8 of us that are in the business right now.
Okay. All right, question 13 and 14, 2 sides of the same coin. Question 13, what's been the best decision you've made so far?
I think the best decision that was probably hard decisions early on when we weren't super profitable. It was a lot of hours and a lot of work of barely scraping by, it felt. The best decisions were those times where we took a risk for a client, and when it didn't work, instead of what a lot of agencies that would, just be like, well, sorry, it didn't work, try something else, that we set kind of the standard and agreed that we would eat that cost a lot of the time. So if what we recommended didn't work, like I mentioned before, then we set it up where they are kind of risk-free at that point, and we put the burden on ourselves. And early on, a lot of agencies told us we were crazy to be doing it that way and how, unsustainable that was. But it's absolutely made it work. Our clients, there's just no turn. Once we start working with somebody, they never leave because they know we're as committed as if it was an internal marketing team. So it was a hard decision up front, but definitely has made this business something that we can be proud of and love every day.
Okay, other side of the coin, question 14. What's been the worst decision you've ever made so far?
Yeah. The worst decision probably had to do with hiring. Early on, we were way too focused on hiring people who had agency experience, thinking that would allow us to minimize training time. So we'd look for people who had worked for other agencies or that kind of thing. And just found that because we didn't ever plan on being a traditional agency, we were having to untrain so much. And so now, most of the time, we really like to look for people who have a natural inclination for whatever the role is, but very little like professional experience so that we're able to design what it looks like. And then looking for people with that potential instead of just because they've worked in an agency doesn't necessarily mean they'll be able to deliver what the quality that we expect. So investing more in training was something we had to learn the hard way instead of just looking for somebody ready to go.
Hiring the person instead of the resume. I got to tell you, I love that. I hope that our listeners love it as much as I do. Good for you.
Well, and that's just kind of where we've landed. Look for potential. Look for ethics. It's huge, huge, huge. Because we've had those catastrophes where we had an employee who was doing some unethical things, and when we found it, obviously had to let go of them. But then we had to give it. We ate everything that they had kind of misbilled to a client and refunded all of it. And we still work with that client still today, and that's been years and years ago. But we took a big hit for that. And so, just looking for people that are ethical and have potential and drive and being able to look for that instead of like, oh, we've had experience. I've learned that doesn't mean anything.
Cool. All righty. So the last question, question 15, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to add that you think our listeners would be interested in?
Yeah, I think for any other business owners or startups, those are the people that we tend to talk with the most, is knowing that marketing is absolutely key for any businesses to succeed. But marketing needs to be holistic instead of in a vacuum, instead of trying to just run an ad campaign, of looking holistically of what your goals are, how does the customer base perceive your business, and sometimes an ad campaign isn't going to generate what you want it to. Just knowing that a lot of times strategy is what is needed to be able to fix a problem, whether that problem is lack of profitability or lack of customers or whatever it is. So when you're looking for marketing, try to find someone who can truly put together a holistic strategy and look at your business from a big picture perspective, not someone who's just saying, I can run great ads or I can build a good website. Really looking at it strategically is key.
Alrighty, cool. So lastly, just slowly, nicely, give me the name of your business and the URL where people can find you.
Yes, so our business name is, in keeping with everything I've said, TangibleStrategies. So Tangible, if you are looking for us, our logo is a tangerine, based kind of a subliminal piece off that. But we put together strategies for marketing that give tangible results. So TangibleStrategies.com. And then on social media, we're very active promoting other businesses and just kind of showcasing our creative side. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We do a lot of, if you're early in business and not ready to hire a firm, we give out a lot of free, great content about small business marketing. So you can read our blog and check our social. And yeah, we love to connect with small businesses and help them find a marketing strategy that works.
If you'd like to plug your business on the BizCall podcast, simply visit thebizcall.com and fill out the form. If you become a guest, you'll receive a free lifetime membership to the BizCall discussion and networking list. If you're too shy, you can still join the BizCall list at thebizcall.com.